All right, what up, nerds? We're back again. More drafting. Floating head, headless, or rather bodiless nummy here. Yeah, another drafto. You guys got about, let's see, a week and a half? Nah, 2 weeks until the draft open. So get your bodies ready for some competition. Also, about 2 weeks until the Crimson Vow Champs. So, two big tournaments coming up in a couple weeks. But yeah, let's jump in. Best of one, ranked, number 8 currently going in. We opened Old Rutstain. Not a bad card, not a card I want to first pick, but it is pretty nice. Just overall value card. No matter what happens, you're going to get a little bit of value when it enters the battlefield, and then every turn you're going to get a little bit of value as well. Cards here for me, I like the Lunar Rejection, the Sigardian Paladin. I mean, Rutstain's good. It's just, I don't know if it's good enough to take, say, over like Lunar Rejection. I've been really, really impressed with Lunar Rejection. Especially when you get to bounce a card for 2 mana. You know, 2 mana bounce a creature, draw a card is just fantastic rate. After yesterday, I almost want to try forcing blue-red again and seeing if you can, like, pull that deck together just really, really easily. Because from what I can tell, the blue-red deck really, really pops off with just a lot of commons. Like all your Flame Breathers, all of your Chill of the Graves, all of your Alchemist Retrievals, that type of thing. Just kind of tempoing the opponent out with commons. So this is going to be a little bit of a test. I'm going to second pick here a Kessig Flame Breather. This is something I would not normally do, not in a million years. But I'm going to try it here for as a little bit of an experiment. Otherwise, normally I would take like Celebrants or Scavenger, Archghoul, some more green-white going around, but I'm going to second pick this Flame Breather, and unless something crazy happens, I'm going to stick to my guns. So, yeah, here, again, passing a Bleed Dry, taking a Raconteur. This is where you know I'm doing something a little bit off the cuff, because Bleed Dry is clearly the best card here, and the card that I would normally take in this scenario, but red-blue spells, Raconteur is perfect. Okay, not a bad pack. We've got another Celebrants, since we've passed a few already. Or Chill of the Grave. Looks like you can probably get a Celebrants later. I think the spells are super important in this deck. I'm not going to want too many Celebrants anyways, maybe 1 or 2 tops. But the spells are key. As we get another Chill of the Grave over basically nothing. I've not been a big fan of Binding Geist. I don't think this card's very good. More chilly. Now, the chills do require some zombies to really put them above. And in blue-red, you're really just looking at, like, the Repository Scab. Oh, wow, another Raconteur. Perfect. Because I don't think there are too many other good zombies that pair well with the blue-red. I mean, Stitched Assistant is, like, okay, but then you need to take, like, all of the Lantern Bears and stuff to enable them. I guess you can just run them as 3/2 zombies. But, for example, we wouldn't want to run, like, a Selhoff and Tumor in this deck. Another Raconteur is beautiful. We are already well on our way to doing what we want to do. I mean, the double Raconteur is just insane in the blue-red deck, because you get to pass often, right? Flip them, and then whenever you're casting a non-creature spell, you're dealing 2 damage to somebody. Yeah, pretty good, as we get another Flame Breather here. This is 2 Flame Breathers, 2 Raconteurs in the first 7 picks. I am digging it. Sad that I have to pass an Ancestral Anger, because I think the Angers are at their best in this deck, where you really want to just keep cycling those spells, but no worries. Another bounce spell here. So now we've got 2 bounce spells, we've got 4 ping creatures, and we've got 2 tap downs that draw a card. I like it. These Raconteurs were actually just insane because, like I said, this deck can probably just function off of the commons, but the fact that we got 2 of these really, really good uncommons for this archetype, well, yeah. These are going to do a lot of damage. What an incredible start. What else are we looking for? I don't know how many other 2-drops we would want in this deck. That is to say, other than the Flame Breather, because a lot of the 2-drops in red and blue don't really have too much synergy with what we're doing. As I guess we'll just take a Lightning Wolf here. We're not going to end up playing it, but let's just cut off the red signal. Like, Throng is pretty underwhelming. Again, I guess we'll just cut off the signal, even though that's a super late Archghoul. But yeah, 8 really good cards for the deck in pack 1, so that's a good spot to be in overall. Okay, Epicure is actually a card I will run in this deck for sure. Steelclad Spirit, not going to make the cut. That's another fine pickup. A little bit of value, pings the opponent when it enters, get yourself a blood token to help mitigate some amount of flood. I really wanted to get one of the, can't remember their names now, the 4/4 Menace on the wheel. The Celebrants. But I don't know if we can get one at this point. Let's see, on the wheel, that would be 9. We might be able to get a Celebrants. I think they're called Celebrants. Voldaren Celebrants? Something like that. Okay, now I don't remember the name. But anyways, the 4/4 Menace that makes 2 blood tokens for 5 mana. We might have a small chance of getting one here in this next pack. But it's not a big deal if we don't. It just would have made the first pack even more fantastic than it already is. Key pickups are going to be like Abrade or Flame Blessed Bolt. Because while we do have some really good tempo cards like Tap Down and Bounce, we don't have any removal yet. But, I mean, you know what? I guess this deck probably doesn't even need the Abrades and Blessed Bolts and even Lacerate Flesh all that badly, just because a little bit of tempo goes a long way in this style of deck. Okay, well, we did wheel the Celebrants, so Chef's Kiss, perfect. And yeah, what a first pack. Incredible first pack for us. I guess in blue, we're looking like for flyers, if nothing else. But a lot of the blue flyers are really weak. I guess there's that uncommon Drake, the 2-mana 2/1 that I would probably end up taking, but... Alright, pack 2, first pick. Opened ourselves a Cultivator Colossus. I've had this card once or twice, I've never actually cast it though. It seems fine. It's not some crazy bomb or anything, but it can get you some value. I think the Brambleworm is just straight up better than this, but... If you're in green and you open it or get past it, you'll play it. Anyway, Lunar Rejection, Foreboding Statue, Flame Blessed Bolt, Cruel Witness. Bunch of pretty good choices here. We're at 5 creatures currently, and 6 creatures currently, and 4 interactive spells. I'm just wondering if I want to take the Bolt here over Lunar Rejection, or if I'd rather take the Cruel Witness for a solid creature. I think we're going to just take the Bolt over the Rejection since we already have 2 bounce spells and we don't have any quote-unquote hard removal yet. But I'm not sure how correct that pick was. Screaming Swarm, I don't think we actually want that. It's a 4/4 flyer, yeah, but I think this deck is trying to keep its curve really low for the most part. And so I'd rather just second pick a Cradle of Safety, as odd as that is. I like Foreboding Statue. I don't think this is going to be a good deck for Foreboding Statue. Which is kind of weird to say, because every deck is a good deck for... I guess I'll still take the Statue. We're likely to get a Cradle of Safety later anyways. It's not like this card is ever a dead card. Wandering Mind, nice little pickup there for us. Maybe we wheel the Retrieval or the Epic here, but not too much to note. Wandering Mind is exactly the kind of 3-drop we're looking for. Another Chill of the Grave or a Belligerent Guest. That could have been our 3rd Sigardian Paladin. I don't even know if we would have had a good green-white deck, but we would have had 3 of those. Yeah, I guess I'm okay taking the first Belligerent Guest over the 3rd Chill. Still on the lookout for some like playable blue zombie. As we get either another Belligerent Guest or our first Scattered Thoughts here. Let's go ahead and take the card draw this time. Always love having 1 Scattered Thoughts in my blue decks. Card isn't a big overperformer for sure. Alright, and we did find a zombie that we want to play, the Repository Scab. So that's going to help our Chill of the Graves, but that's also going to help us just keep tempoing out the opponent. And now at this point, we want to just get our low end of the curve. None of these cards we want. Skywarp Scab, not very good in this deck. Although it is a zombie. And the Festivities, certainly not. I'm actually just going to take this Pack Song Puppy because I'm a meanie. Hate draft on somebody. Another Repository Scab doesn't really do anything. Sure Strike's okay. Like I said, I don't think I want to take any more high drops. So I think I'm just going to go with the Sure Strike here. Sure Strike's a really good combat trick in the format. We wield the other statue, and there's a second Throng if we really wanted to. But I guess I'll just take a second statue. That's kind of crazy to me that it wheeled. Wow, even wheeling the Screaming Swarm. It's fine, it's playable. Like, it's a big flyer. I think we can probably do better, but... Remember, this is only pack 2, so we have a lot of wiggle room with this many playables already. This is not even a zombie is the sad thing, so you don't get any of those zombie synergies. So, things I'm currently looking to cut. Yeah, probably the Swarm. I don't know about those double statues. But it looks good. Good start. As we open a Dig Up. No, not for us. But we do get as a third Lambholt Raconteur. That's fantastic. Yeah, we are just going to burn people out of nowhere. That's kind of crazy. We've seen 3 Raconteurs, but only 2 Flame Breathers. Whereas the Flame Breather is a common versus Raconteur being an uncommon, so... awkward for sure. Okay, oh man. Another weak pack for us here. We do get a Siphon Essence, which is nice, but... wasn't exactly the card we were looking for. 0 Abrade so far. I don't even think we've seen a Lacerate Flesh even. So we're going to have to really bank on the bounce and the tap downs. That's fine though. There goes another Bleed Dry. Yikes, this pack is really bad too, isn't it? We're not going to play a second Sure Strike. I'm not sure Cobbled Lancer really fits the deck very well. But it's the only card I would consider running, so we'll take it. It is a zombie too, right? I guess that does have some amount of upside. Yeah, there's a Lacerate Flesh now. Suppose we need to take that over the second Alchemists. Where are the other Flame Breathers? So we get a kind of medium pick here as well. I don't think the Catgeist fits the deck. Wanderlight Spirit could, though. Spirit at least is just a 3-mana flyer that can start beating in. Which, this deck just wants to tempo people out anyway, so a little flyer is not the worst case scenario, even though I don't like this card. I think it's probably going to fit the deck okay. Another Spirit now versus the Impulse. We're certainly going to take our first Impulse. That's fantastic in this deck. Surprised we haven't seen more of those, actually. A bunch of commons we haven't seen very many of. 13 creatures, so maybe Cobbled Lancers can be a play. I don't like Frenzied Devils. I've never found this card to be very good. This wants you to cast spells on your turn. I think our deck is trying to be more reactive than proactive, though. So I'm going to take the Syncopate here, and maybe we'll play that. Okay, I'm probably going to end up running the second Siphon Essence then over the Syncopate. And just maybe cut 1 card. What's our creature count? 13. Could just be cutting the Sure Strike at this point. Funny enough, Ancestral Anger, even though this would be our only copy of it, would not be a bad card in this deck. But I guess the Magma Pummeler is reasonable enough. Alright, some more cards, none of which we're going to play. Again, some more cards we're not going to play. I think it's just the Cobbled Lancer that we're considering here. But yeah, ended up with a pretty solid deck. My biggest regret is only getting one Kessig Flame Breather. Sorry, two Kessig Flame Breathers. And I think those were the only two we saw. Like, the 3 Raconteurs is just like, what? Okay. So I need to cut like one card here. I think I'm just going to cut one of the statues. I'm always tempted to cut both statues, but I'll just cut one of them. This deck does have a bunch of stuff to do with its mana, so having one of them is not awful. Alright, let's go 9 red here. And 8 blue. I think that's what we want to do. Alright, let's roll. Let's roll. Roll. I wonder how many games we're going to win just by casting like 2 Raconteurs and burning the opponent out. Hopefully all of them. Alright, we are on the draw. Hand's pretty sad. No pingers of any sort. No Flame Breathers or Raconteurs, but I think it's good enough to keep. As our opponent has a Voltaic Visionary on turn 2. We're not going to bounce that yet. Alright, they're just going to straight up attack with it. And do a Distracting Geist. Alright, let's bounce the 3-1 back to their hand at end of turn then. We're already falling a bit behind, so... just gonna bounce that and try to counter it on the way down, I guess. And then go for Scattered Thoughts on our next turn cycle. Or just counter that, yeah. There's a Flame Breather, though. But we're still gonna lead with Scattered Thoughts here. Flame Breather just gets tapped down by the Geist anyways. Yes, hello. Alright, Impulse. They hit an Anger and a land. Probably should just cast their 2-drop here. Let's go ahead and scatter in response, and oof. At least we hit one spell. There's one of our Raconteurs. Go ahead and lead on the Mind, see if we can hit something. Oh, the odds of us bricking there, I assume, were very low. But we did get through a bunch of cards we didn't want to see, so I guess that's a plus. Uh-oh, that's a lot of damage. Markov Waltzer, okay. We're gonna have to Lacerate Flesh that. It's gonna attack with everything? Sure. Go ahead and trade for the Visionary, I think. Yeah, because the Visionary flips later, so I'm going to take 5 here, go to 8. Play a land, Lacerate Flesh the Flyer. I can't block, so might as well attack. Discard this Wandering Spirit, end of turn. Well, that's 6 points of damage. I guess I might be dead here, huh? 2 life. Precarious. I need to find like a chill. Okay, that works. I needed to also hit a land though. Gosh, I can Magma Pummeler on like 1 and chill. I guess that might be the play. That's really sad. Sure. Not looking good for us. But maybe we can stabilize. Alright, so forced block, but that can trade. Two, three. But no other plays. Alright, so we might have a small chance here. Raconteur into Reckless, ping them for 1. 2 uncastables. Not in a land, rather, I should say. No land there. Just dead to Piercing. Yeah. Or not Piercing. I always call this card Pierce Retribution. Called Fierce Retribution. I don't know what happened that game. I just did nothing, I guess? No. I did stuff. What happened? I don't know. I guess I just didn't have a good play early. They had enough interaction. Because none of the cards the opponent played were particularly good. I guess the Distracting Geist was a little bit annoying. Felt weird. I don't know. What did I do? I played a Flame Breather, played a Wandering Mind that bricked, played a 2/4, cast some spells. Yeah, it was kind of a weird game. Alright, pretty good looking hand for not having any blue. We are on the draw here again, though. But a good reactive hand. Mirror match, perhaps? They have a Celebrant. Alright, we're gonna pop that off for sure. Yes, yes. Hello, hello. No need to Reckless Impulse here since we already have a 3rd land. Alright, they're on 2 lands. So they might have to use their Visionary for a land next turn. Nice, good job. Sure, they have a Bolt of their own. And a Wretched Throng. Found our blue source. We're just going to slam the Raconteur here. Blue-red doesn't have too many ways to get rid of this with only 3 mana, maybe 4. And we're going to start pinging them out. I'm not going to block the Throng here, obviously. They did have the 1 card they could have for 3 mana, though. Holy smokes. That's unfortunate. I mean, obviously they could have, like, Bounce or Tap Down, but that was the one spell that would kill my Raconteur here. Awkward. Alright, I'll go for a Bounce on the Berserker. Take only 2, hopefully, and they can recast it. Oh, they have a Syncopate? Oh, they have a Cradle of Safety. Yeah, that's pretty bad for me, so I take 7? Sure. We are getting kind of wrecked here. This is probably Wandering Mind and find a chill. It's not a chill. So I guess we'll cast Reckless Impulse. Well, no, I guess I need to probably hold up Siphon Essence, don't I? We get it, opponent. Hello, hello, you're winning. You're too good. Chump or trade and go to 2? I think I'm just gonna chump for now. I don't know why they're running a creature into our known counter. It's not a very good line. They're already winning, so they don't need to do that. We are looking pretty dead here, though. Alright, we did find a bounce spell, thank gosh. I'm just gonna do that main phase since, Oh, wait. What's the wording on Reckless? Yeah. So no point in holding the... For some reason, I always mess that up. That land is not in my hand, so there's no point to hold it for the blood token. We're dead to quite a bit of cards. Quite a few cards, I should say. Alright, let's... pitch the island. Attack for 2, because this doesn't block. So you go. Well, this deck is not giving us a very good showing, is it? I don't know if it's the deck's fault, or maybe the draws just haven't been lining up very well. Rough beats, as they say. Best case scenario here is they just go for like a Celebrance. Alright, well, let's tap their Whispering Wizard in response before they can refind their Cradle. Another land. Lucky us. Yeah, we're looking pretty dead here. Everything is lethal. So I need to find a spell here and then... Okay, maybe draw into something. Oh, I did not mean to discard my creature. I meant to discard a land. That's pretty funny. Well, awkward misclick. Alright, I must be dead. Yes, yes, hello. Sure. This card's awesome. Yeah, and that'll do her. Looks like we probably weren't beating that anyways, even if we had had our guest. Uh-oh. Well, 0-2 start wasn't where we wanted to be, but good news is I think this deck is still good. I do think this deck is legitimate. I think maybe our draws have not been ideal. We've also been on the draw for both games, so that also puts us behind. But I don't think this is a good representation of the deck. I think, on average, I would probably get 4 or 5 wins with this. And you know what? We can still do that. So, here we go. This is the start of the comeback. Okay, on the play this time. Yeah, double Flame Breather hand. Do need to hit another land here. It's be sad if I just hit only 2 lands and... Well, we'll see. If they're red-green, the Lunar Rejection's gonna get a Werewolf hit at least. Thankfully, we did not brick on land, so I don't have to Baby Rage. Alright, both players just curving out here. That will be a good draw later. We'll go ahead and attack for 3. This is useful because we get a blood token if they either trade with the infantry or just don't block. Perfect, I'll take a blood token. And... I think with this hand I like actually pitching the Celebrants. Nice. Because our plan is just to go Rack and Tour with the double Flame Breather and then just cast a bunch of non-creature spells and go ping, 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 ping. Aha! Rack and Tour, buddies. Sure, let's rumble. We are about to do some nasty business with our triple pinger. Bride's Gown, okay. Sure. Sure. I guess I'll take 5. Got me. Alright, our next few turns are gonna slap pretty hard though. Let's lead with Reckless, because both of these are werewolves, so we can still cast Lunar Rejection here, and this is gonna ping the opponent for 3 to start. Nice. We'll play the land, we'll cast the Wandering Mind next turn and just pass this turn holding up our rejection. This is going to be a fun little few turns. I might even just cast Scattered Thoughts instead of the Wandering Mind. Although I guess I'm likely to find one of our chills. Maybe not likely, it's not the right word. Alright, so they're casting a second Anger here. We're going to bounce this in response, because that will fizzle the card draw on their Anger. Sure, just recast and re-equip. That's fine. And I'm happy to trade here. Don't need that guest anyways. Alright, let's go ahead and cast this and hopefully find one of our chills. Lacerate Flesh. A spell's a spell. Alright, 4-5 Menace. I'm at 11. Wonder if they're gonna equip it. If they equip it, I might have to go for some block. Wow, a third Anger! Love it. 7-5 Trampler now. Okay. Make it a 9-5 Trampler. Yeah, I'm gonna have to Uber block here and not take any damage. They can kill my Raconteur, my Flame Breather, and my Wandering Mind. But this is going to heavily favor us, because then I'm going to lacerate their flesh, their Raconteur, ping them for 1, attack them for 3. They're going to go down to 7. I'm still going to have a Scattered Thoughts backup. So, even though that's not a great trade for us, it's going to be a winning trade. And in fact, I don't even need to do that anymore, but it's just safest to kill this thing, of course. Alright, we don't care about those. Oh, a splashed black card, huh? Okay. Let's main phase this. And that is some junk, my god. For 2. Put them to 4. Chill, the one that has the buff on it. Put them to 3. Holy smokes. They get a blood token here. If they brick, though, they lose. If they just have like a land in their hand and they discard and draw a land, they die. Alright. Well, that game was a much better showing for our deck. We actually got to ping out the opponent quite well. We were on the play as well, so that certainly helped a bit. See if we can, again, rattle off a few wins to salvage this, because I do, again, think this deck is good. So I don't want to let the first 2 games sway the opinion. And obviously, I mean, I've had some crazy good decks in this format, and some of them have gone like 0-3, legitimately. I just wanted to see what like, again, this was an experiment. Force red-blue because it has all of the important cards. Like, if you look at all of these are great cards in this deck, and they're all common. So I think this is a viable archetype to just force. Epicure turn 1, alright. This deck always wants to have a Flame Breather on turn 2, and this is a great follow-up hand. Red-black Vamps. Ceremonial Knife. Okay. Yeah, we're going to attack here. And just pass. We're going to wait until we can get the Pummeler to at least a 3-3. Okay, we're going to use their blood. Pitch a mountain, sure. If they equip the knife, we'll go ahead and chill. If they don't equip, we're not going to, because they're probably going to have a post-combat creature. Nice. Wanted to find a Rack-and-Tour there, but this is good enough. Odds are we're going to get to Siphon Essence something this turn. Didn't matter what it was, I was just going to counter the first creature they played. Can't really be bait if they only have 4 mana and they cast a 2-drop. I think I want to discard a land here. Let's go ahead and smash for 1 again. And play this out on 3. We have bounce, so we don't need to hold up Siphon Essence this turn, because we can always just bounce whatever they do and then counter it next. They need like a Bleed Dry here, or a Hero's Downfall, because I don't think there are any red removal spells that can kill the Pummeler and not also kill their Epicure. Remember, on the Ceremonial Knife, though, it's just whenever it deals damage, doesn't have to deal damage to a player. A lot of these old equipments, well, not this one, this is not an old equipment, but a lot of equipment in this format. Oh, that's pretty good. Sorry, a lot of equipment in other formats specify it has to deal damage to, like, the player. I'm just gonna move their dagger over. Would not really care about that. Scab was a pretty nice draw, too. I think we're just gonna attack with the Pummeler. See if they trade. If not, we will play land and pass here, I think. Flame Breather just straight up blocks Epicure. I think we're probably gonna bounce the I don't need to bounce the Dominating. Ooh, if they equip, though, I will bounce the Dominating when it attacks. That's good. Really nice tempo play here, because they've already invested 2 mana equipping, and now if they just recast it, I will certainly counter. I'll counter that too. Yeah, that's fine. It's a pretty hot draw. That's going to give us a ton of blood. Going to mitigate a bunch of later flood. Now, they can play the Dominating and now only steal a 1-drop as well, since they don't have any other vampires, so they need to play another vampire first into Dominating if they want to steal something for the turn. I'm guessing the Scab getting back bounce is probably going to be GG. This is pretty funny. Alright. So it's a net 0. But that is... they've kind of stabilized. Go ahead and... pitch. Pitch. Yep. We're gonna cast that. Tempo. Great draw on the Reckless as well. Every point of damage matters here, so I think that was certainly worth doing. And remember, we have another Flame Breather and 3 Raconteurs in the deck. So even if this first Flame Breather dies, which it looks like it's going to do, we still have a lot of pinging available, although their board presence is kind of scary. Wow, the Wandering Mind, I don't even get to play into the Watcher. Let's go Reckless here, hopefully hit a Raconteur. Sadly, we just have to cast our Scab this turn, I think, as a blocker, otherwise I'm going to take too much damage. Yeah, they might swing this game. Ideally, they didn't draw... if they draw a removal spell this turn, we're probably in bad shape, but... I think trading's actually really, really good here for us. They do get blood. But I'm probably going to get to double spell next. Oh, they drew a Celebrants. Yikes. Well, that's really bad. Alright, let's find some action. Good. Okay. Let's go ahead and play out the Forebear. Because what they might do now is pass to flip the Ballista Watcher, but them turning it into Knight is actually useful for us, because then our Raconteur... that's kind of scary. Well, maybe now I chump the Ballista Watcher. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna chump the Ballista Watcher now if they're doing this. Because they could just go, like, land, pass, and then kill it. I need to cast 2 spells here to flip it back. But we're very close to dead. Actually, they have 4, 5, 6, 7. They ping me twice. Okay, I'm not gonna quite die then. Let's see what the Wandering Mind hits before anything else. Yep. Okay, that's really good. Interesting. Is it better to bounce the Ballista Watcher or the Celebrants here? I can't just play out the Raconteur. That's because I'd have to chump with it if I did. I guess I'm gonna bounce the Wielder because there's a chance that I can draw a castable spell, or it lets me use my blood tokens. We're still in really bad shape, though. Okay. So it goes back to day. I mean, I'm taking 5 here. I'm going to 4. Oh, we're 1 life short of burning them out here as well. Because I can go Rack-and-Tour, Flame Breather into Bolt, which pings them down to 1, but that ain't lethal. I think we gotta pitch one of our Rack-and-Tours here. Need to find like another chill or something. Not good enough. We're just dead on board, right? Yeah, we're just dead on board. It's too bad. Man, don't think this deck got what it deserved. GG's. I think this deck was a lot better than the showing, or what happened, but hey, they can't all be winners, you know? I don't want to cherry pick all of my drafts and be like, hey, look at this, I get 6+ wins every time. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you go 1 in 3. But this was the experiment, right? We were trying to force red-blue. Like I said, I think this deck was very good. I don't think it got its fair amount of wins. That is to say, on average, if I were to play this deck, you know, 10 times, I think on average this deck would be able to pull 4 or 5 wins pretty easily. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Yeah, I think forcing red-blue in this format might be very, very legitimate. Just, again, looking at the number of commons and uncommons you can get with this deck. So, a little showcase of some red-blue. Thanks for watching, everybody. And, yeah, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button before you go. We'll see you next time.